Hey everyone, my name's Bloodshed from the community team, and today we're back with another Burning Questions video. So I'm gonna start you off in the hot seat a little bit. So what's it about? Well, the team is always listening to your feedback. So in this series, we're taking your comments and your questions behind the scenes and asking developers directly.
Oh my gosh.
They don't know exactly what I'm gonna throw at them, so hopefully we can catch them off guard a bit and maybe have some fun.
You know, last time I was being interviewed, this time I'm being sacrificed. I don't know how I feel about that.
So some players are noticing that in Torment tiers, they're still getting those magic and rare items to drop. Are there any plans to change that, or?
Yeah, so the goal is not to have magic and rare items dropping anywhere in Torments. Sometimes a few things slip through the cracks, and we've just been touching that up. We noticed that sometimes side quests and whisper caches were dropping magic and rare items, and we nipped that in the bud, and they're now legendary. And we're gonna keep looking for those pesky little bugs and squashing them as we can.
Currently in the game, we have Andariel, Duriel, the Harbinger, all cool bosses.
Sure,
but
yeah.
They have the same loot table.
Right.
And then I guess if you were to fight Belial, then you get access to the same loot tables. Is there any way to differentiate those bosses in the future?
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that players that didn't have access to the expansion could still find all of the unique items they were looking for. But we've decided since then to kind of split it out into more of a Venn diagram shape. I'm not gonna go like into super details, but you should be able to find loot that feels a lot more particular to Harbinger or Duriel or Andariel now in Season 10.
On the topic of farming bosses, getting items and uniques, it can get tiresome sometimes doing bosses for hours and hours and hours. Will there be other like avenues to acquire uniques?
Yeah, so specifically in Season 10, there's going to be lots of different ways to get Chaos Armor, but in addition to that, because we added Chaos Armor in the game, we wanted to make sure that we also took a look at uniques in general. And so we've bumped up the just baseline chance for unique items to drop just throughout content, but you can probably expect some more ways to find uniques in the future.
That's awesome. Final question, is Lilith a villain or anti-hero?
I think she's a villain, guys.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of funny, like, I've had multiple friends play through Diablo 4. They message me when they're like most of the way through the campaign, and they're like, Lilith is the best. Yeah. I'm like, guys, she's gonna destroy humanity, come on.
The next developer I want to talk to is Dan Tangway, but he's not here in Irvine, so we're gonna have to go ahead and call into Albany. Hey, Dan.
Hello.
You seem like a man of culture, Dan. I want to say,
Okay.
Is it pronounced Shaco, Shaco, or do you call it Harlequin's Crest?
I call it a Shaco.
Good. There was only one answer, so you passed.
All right, good.
So Dan, leaderboards and ladders, are there any updates you can share with the community?
We've been doing a lot of thinking around this. We launched the Gauntlet and the Trials leaderboards way back in Season 3, but then turned them off around X1 because we wanted to give ourselves an opportunity to think about how to do this type of gameplay better. What players are really looking for are leaderboards that allow them to show mastery of their build and kind of whatever situation we can throw at them. And so we're really trying to build, the leaderboards and the mode around it, around that notion that, we're going to keep you on your toes.
When blasting through layer bosses, loot can drop pretty fast. Are there any plans to add a loot filter or anything to help with that?
Yeah, so we've definitely heard everyone's feedback, and we've done a lot of different things we needed to do prior, revamping the itemization. We've done some almost like smart filtering, and I think we've reached the limits of that approach. And so we are talking about loot filters, but I can't really say much more than that right now.
Some people have had some suggestions that it would be cool when there's an active whisper in the game for specific content, that maybe like a nightmare sigil starts to catch on fire, or there's some indicator to alert the player to go to that area.
Good news. We've got something in place for that, and it should be coming out in Season 10. So that's pretty cool.
We have a few comments from players saying that sometimes seasonal content can feel disposable as it doesn't carry over to the Eternal Realm. Are there any plans to make seasonal mechanics like a permanent part of the core game?
Yeah, I definitely want to highlight that the vast majority of things that come in every season really are for the eternal game. When we do these big updates to our systems and a lot of the quality of life improvements, all of those are eternal kind of evergreen improvements to Diablo 4. Really the most limited part are the seasonal powers. Those really are only applicable for that season. And on one hand, we really like that because it allows us to be, very experimental. We can try a bit more wacky and crazy things. But we are definitely aware that, a lot of players really resonate with some of these mechanics, some of these powers in particular. So we're going to look to find ways to reincorporate those old powers and those old effects into future systems as well.
Malphas and Witch Tides just left a hole in my heart, and yeah, I'm always yearning for them.
Yeah, we definitely heard a lot of similar sentiment, and we definitely are looking for ways to bring those back into the game, kind of, as a permanent feature, as well as some of the other activities and powers.
Oh, nice. We get a lot of feedback from players that seasonal powers can feel samey over the seasons. Are there any plans to maybe make things feel a little bit more fresh going forward?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about this. When you think about your player class and your build, I kind of think of it like a cake, right? You've got like your base skills, then like your legendaries and your paragon. You're kind of building up layers. And then the seasonal powers were really just like icing on top of that cake. And every season we'd kind of scrape off the icing and put a new layer on. Different flavor, but it's still just icing at the end of the day. So going forward, we're going to be looking at seasonal powers that really play with like kind of the filling of that cake, that really change the interaction between your skills and your legendaries, your paragon, your items, and so on. And I think you see that a lot with the chaos perks here, where they really directly interact with your player skills. We're also seeing that with the chaos armor, the itemization update this season, which really messes with how you build your character at a very fundamental level. We think this is a really good way of kind of iterating on our seasonal power systems.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's there in that menu, like it's on your character and part of you. There's gonna be some fun combos, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely some fun and probably pretty strong combos as well.
So what are you gonna main next season?
I think Spiritborn is looking really good. I think Spiritborn works with the Chaos Armor in some really interesting ways. They've got some really powerful effects that you can now get on different slots than before. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with the Spiritborn.
I'm gonna main Spiritborn now. I think I'm gonna log that's probably gonna be the go-to. The dev team, I'm sure, is always cooking up content. I see you guys, working hard all the time.
Oh yeah.
Just totally separate and not related. What's your favorite season?
My favorite season of the year. I think I really enjoy, the holiday season, around that, late November to December time frame. It's really looking forward to it.
Gift giving, right? Season. It's a season for
looking forward to that this year.
Well, that's a wrap for today. If you're hungry for more Diablo news, you won't have to wait too much longer, as this is shaping out to be one hell of a year. And honestly, big thank you to you, the community, for all your questions, comments, and yes, even your spirited discussions. We genuinely appreciate all of it, truly. Until next time, we'll see you in Sanctuary.